Hi everyone, this is Mahabali from the American University in Cairo, and I'm joined today with my daughter Hoda and Autumn, who will take us through the next activity. Go ahead, Autumn.
Hey everybody, my name is Autumn Kames. I'm an instructional designer at the University of Michigan Dearborn, and I put together a little activity that I like to do as an introductory activity to help folks get to know one another. But also, I think it can be used on a more regular basis sometimes to help build community. And so I call it Surrealist portraiture. And so just a little bit of setup to give you some idea of how this works and what it means. I'm going to share my screen really quickly. So what is Surrealism? And who were the Surrealists? So Surrealist artists were, they are folks who think about art in a little bit of a different way. And there's a couple of different techniques that they use. What we're looking at right now is an example of automatic drawing, which you can also, it has a bit of a connection to like free writing. So this is when you're sitting down and just kind of drawing, just to draw. You're trying to get your, any kind of subject out of your mind, and you're just drawing in like a very free way. And then there's, of course, the idea of the surrealist portrait. If you just do a Google search on surrealist portrait, you can see a bunch of different examples of that. And so I'm kind of merging these two ideas together as an introductory activity. So what you would do is, if you have a small enough group, assign people to one another to draw one another. You will need something to draw with, so either a pen or a pencil and a piece of paper. And then to kind of get at that surrealist aspect, to try to get us out of ideas of quality or ideas of trying to, you know, sometimes we get in our head too much about our drawing. And so to get out of that, we introduce a couple of constraints. The first one is time. So for this exercise or for this demonstration, we'll only draw for 1 minute. The other thing that I think can help to get us out of that is try drawing with your non-dominant hand. So for me, that is my left hand. It might be your right hand if you're left-handed. If you're ambidextrous, then you know, whichever one, if you do feel like one is more dominant than the other, go with the less dominant one. And then the last constraint that we'll use is try to draw the portrait with without picking your pencil or your pen off of the paper. So just try to, and if you do, just put it back down exactly where you lifted it off. Yes.
So we're going to do all three constraints at one time.
Yeah.
So could you repeat those real quick? So non-dominant hand, 1 minute.
1 minute.
And don't take your pen off.
Yep.
Or pencil off. Okay. And we choose to draw someone else or ourselves?
Well, let's choose, let's set that up beforehand. So Meha, why don't you draw me? And I can draw Hoda. And Hoda, why don't you draw your mom? How would that work out? She said, I guess so.
Don't worry, it doesn't have to look like me at all. It's like doodling, but with
that's the whole point. The whole point is that it doesn't have to necessarily look like.
And I kind of want to draw Autumn like what she looks like.
Is it okay if both of us draw you?
Yeah, that's fine too. That's fine too. We can do that.
And I can draw Autumn.
Okay.
And I'll draw Hoda.
Yeah, go ahead. Sure.
So you can do this for a little bit longer. I think in an actual, if it wasn't a demo, if I was actually doing it, I might do it for maybe 2 or 3 minutes rather than 1 minute. But for the sake of the demonstration, I want to kind of keep it short. So I'll set a timer for 1 minute, and let's take a little bit of time. Hoda, am I drawing Hoda? I guess I can draw her from memory.
Remember, I think what if students don't want to turn their camera on? You could either use their profile picture, or you said maybe we could use their name as inspiration and draw something out of imagining their names.
Absolutely. So yeah, if students don't have a camera, or if they can't turn their camera on because of bandwidth issues, or if they just don't want to turn on their camera, then reflecting on their name and having students think about, you know, this is the way I sort of envision you when you speak in class, or when I see your little square there, can be another way that you can think about this. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to have a live subject necessarily. All right, well, I will go ahead and start the timer. And let's go. Oh, and that is time, folks. Okay.
That was really
now,
interesting.
we share our portraits and talk to each other about how that was. So, Meha, do you want to go first?
Sure. So I was drawing Autumn. This is what I came up with, which looks nothing like it was looked in my head, and then I sort of ran away with myself. So originally, do I interpret it or do I let you guys? I think I interpret it, right?
Yeah.
So this was supposed to be an autumn leaf, which doesn't look like that at all because I was drawing with my non-dominant hand. But I meant to do it upside down because this also looks like it's her hair. But then, and those are like a headset and glasses. But because I couldn't take my finger off the paper, it looks kind of weird. And then I saw it, and it looked more like an octopus or something than autumn at all. So I went ahead with the sea theme and made an octopus and a starfish and a fish. Because I was like, it has nothing to do with autumn. It's just like what this ended up looking like. So
I love it. Hoda, do you want to share your drawing with us?
Are you continuing to draw?
It's a bit weird.
That's okay. It's supposed to look weird.
Because it didn't grow.
It's supposed to look weird. That's the whole point.
Can you bring it a little closer?
Okay, so I was gonna like draw you like your head is like just like you, but the rest of you is like a robot body. It gave you, remember when you said like the headphones and the glasses kind of technology, like it gave me an idea to draw you like that. But I guess,
yeah, let me see it again. I didn't see it. Can you show me again?
But I guess you looked a bit like a centaur, which is a horse human.
Oh.
Because it looks like a horse shoe, you know?
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
Since I did it
I'm a centaur cyborg.
You did it with your left. Okay, good.
Yeah.
It's much harder, isn't it? Autumn?
So I found the time constraint really got me because I didn't get through. So I was trying to draw Hoda. This is what I ended up with. You can see the headphones there.
Yeah.
And I've got a little bit of a perspective difference there.
Maybe a beak.
Because she was, well, you were leaning down like this. So your nose kind of had this weird perspective. Like I started off with like trying to draw you straight on, but then shifted perspective. So
yeah, especially if it's the first time students are seeing each other, they don't actually know what each other look like.
Right.
I actually drew like the things that like they came out of your head, like just because to make it realistic.
Yeah,
I love it.
So if students don't have their camera on and they want to show the picture that they drew, how might they share that?
There's a couple of different ways that I think that they could do that. If they have a mobile device, they can take a picture of it and then either put that in the chat as a file share, or they can even change their profile picture. So you can see that my, if I stop my video, I have a profile picture put in, and you can actually change this under your settings in Zoom. So you could change that picture to your drawing, and then just stop your camera. And when you stop your camera, that would be the picture that would show up in your little, yeah.
And that's also a cool way to teach them how to change their profile picture, because some of them don't have one on Zoom, especially. I don't know about other tools.
And I think we'd also talked about a potential adaptation where you could do this activity synchronously, but then do a share out asynchronously in like a discussion board. And that could be an interesting way to also share the images with one another. I have done this in the past where there've been some really neat ones, and some people have been like, oh, I want that. I'm actually going to use that as my profile picture on social media or something, because it can be kind of fun. So
that's so cool. And then if you had a larger group of students, would you describe the activity to everyone in the main room and then ask them to work in breakout rooms, maybe in small groups?
Yeah, I think that's a good go-to whenever you have a large group, is if the group gets to a certain size, one of the ways that you can make it more manageable is to give the instructions to the whole room, but then have them actually perform the activity in breakout rooms.
I love this activity. I think I'm going to use it, and I really like how it sort of sets the tone about imperfection, and you can talk about, you know, how it feels when you have time constraints, and how it feels when you're using your non-dominant hand, and also what it means to just let go of trying to do something perfect or beautiful. Well. I love that. Say what?
I drew pretty well.
You did draw pretty well, given the time constraint and the left-handed and all that. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Autumn. Thank you, Huda, for joining us.
Okay.
Bye.